Does Trump have the necessary support within the Republican Party to make this happen? And by way of connecting that to Ron DeSantis, Trump, what we saw in 2016 is he destroyed other Republican candidates and kind of made them, people like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, not viable future presidential candidates. Is he going to do the same to Ron DeSantis and then lose another election?
Mitch, I think that Donald Trump is going to win the Republican nomination and then he's going to go on and win the presidency. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. I don't know what planet Dr. Nichols is living on, but I can tell you that Donald Trump has a record that Joe Biden can only dream of. Gas prices were lower. Grocery prices were lower. We had a much calmer and safer world. Americans felt much more comfortable.
Did we have a calmer and safer world? Did we have a calmer and safer world?
Russia wasn't in Ukraine. Russia wasn't in the Ukraine, and we didn't have North Korea firing missiles. You conveniently forget all of that, of course.
That's true, but I think about 500,000 people died during a pandemic that began under the Trump administration. Am I correct on that?
Well, but the pandemic wasn't Donald Trump's fault. How can you blame the pandemic on Donald Trump? Surely you should be looking at China. You shouldn't be looking at Donald Trump. He was the president of the country at the time the pandemic hit. But you can't possibly be blaming the deaths of people. I wouldn't say I'm blaming him. I'm just asking if we were really safer during a pandemic than in the later stages of the pandemic. Of course we were. Absolutely we were.
All right, well, let's go back to the announcement now. I do want to ask Dr. Nichols here, who are the Democrats going to run? Because there's some question as to whether or not Joe Biden is the right opponent for Donald Trump again, or maybe he is the only opponent that can actually beat Donald Trump. So how does the Democratic Party feel about running somebody against Donald Trump?
Well, I think the Democratic Party feels pretty good, and the planet I'm living in is the planet that flipped 3 governor seats, just swept Arizona, 1 in Pennsylvania. So that's the planet I'm living in. And I think that it is, I think Biden will do fine against Trump. He may actually, I agree with some of the people who say he may have a tougher time with someone like DeSantis, who could actually unify the party on the other side. And right now, I think they're going to be divided. And I think Donald Trump is someone who would rather burn it down than let the party move on. So I really think that Biden will be fine. I think you could put someone like Gretchen Whitmer up and someone even if you want to fast track my Governor-elect Moore. I think there are a lot of options for Democrats, but if it's Joe Biden, if he decides to run again, I think the party will unify around him. And when you're running, the only policy that I heard from Donald Trump last night was eliminating early voting. And I don't think that Americans want our franchise and our voting rights to be truncated. So I think
well, Dr. Nichols, I apologize. I know I've had to interrupt you both, and I know that I've had some questions for both of you, and you've had some questions for each other. Guess what? We have 2 more years to discuss this, one of the earliest presidential campaign announcements that we've seen. So we'll have you back. We'll discuss this more in the future. That's Jason Nichols and Nick Adams. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.